Inflewence here, and today I have Magic Square's Heavy Gunner, which is their full ray into Masterpiece, and well, I guess their second full ray into Masterpiece. And I can say I'm impressed with this figure. I thought it was just gonna be straight upscale of their legend size figure, but there are some differences. Paint, plastic feels better. It is light but doesn't feel cheap. I think people get that confused sometimes because they're used to a lot of die cast. Personally, I don't think die cast makes a figure not cheap, and I don't think not having die cast makes your figure cheap. Let's get into this review, and if you don't want to watch the whole thing, I can say I recommend this. I think it's a great figure, especially for the look. G1. All right, so let's go.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
So you know how we do, we're gonna get into accessories, and you see his guns, you see him holding his guns, so let's get them out his hands for now and move him elsewhere. So the first accessory I'm gonna talk about is this thing right here. It is so hard, my fingers are chewed up, that's why it's not in here. I got one in after 12 years, and this one, it just goes, and I probably lost it. It goes right here on this hole. This is supposed to go here, but like I said, my fingers are done, so I'm gonna try to do that later. But here's one on. It took, like I said, 12 13 years, and there's a hole back here for the actual gun, and we'll show that more in tank mode. He has his gun here, nice looking gun. Nothing spectacular, but looks the part, and it's just all plastic. I don't know if it's painted or not. Doesn't feel like it. We got this thing, and this is cool too. It's the thing that goes on the back of him, and also you can use it as a gun, which I think that's cool that they did that. And I'll show that more in tank mode as well. And you get this, which is gonna be Bruticus' foot, since they seem to be doing the whole thing. I do like that on the Legends it had this ramp that came off, and it really, I mean, it was just like a ramp. You could just have it off and put it next to him or whatever, make it look good, but it was really useless. So I'm glad they made it stay on here, so it's just on there like that. I don't know if all this stuff, it came like this. I can say one thing about this, or just where they cut it off the sprue or what, but that doesn't make me feel good. That looks like a stress mark, but I don't know if it is. But there's a wrong place to have a stress mark if it is. Now this will probably go together and go on fine, even if it breaks right there. I don't see any issue because it probably pegs in, well, not probably, but it does, but it just won't be as solid, I guess. But as long as you don't mess with it, probably you'll be fine. So let's roll. Get the normal usual card with the tech specs, and you get these trash directions. They helped a little, but I figured most of it out on my own due to it being kind of similar but not exactly like the Legends. And here's the box. This is a big Legends box, looks like, but that's cool. Looks like I will be having another Bruticus. I don't know, I like the way it looks. I like the build. It's solid, it's light, like I said in the intro. Doesn't mean it's cheap. It feels light, but it feels solid to me. It feels like a well put together figure. And the paint, the plastic and paint, the paint is great. The plastic is not bad. It doesn't feel like Magic Square's plastic. I'm not sure if that's just the paint that's covering it. It makes it feel better, but I know one thing, they need to do their Legends with this paint, if so, because it seems like they don't paint the Legends, it's just the colored plastic. Also, one, and the way I do reviews, I know some people don't understand, but it may seem nitpicky, some of the stuff I talk about, but I talk about everything that I see that may be an issue. I'm not saying it is an issue. I'm not saying it's a bad figure because of it, but there's just stuff that there's an issue. So I talk about it. Like I said, it may be nitpicky to you, but I just cover all the bases that I find. Sometimes I don't find it. With that said, right here, the legs are not too great. This joint, and I can't tell what that is. I don't know if I thought it was the ratchet, because there are ratchets, but it doesn't seem to be the ratchet. No, it is the ratchet. It's that, I don't know what that's called, universal maybe. Yeah, so there's a big space in between, obviously, and the ratchet is hard. We'll get into it. You can see how hard I'm pulling to get that ratchet, and then you kind of push it. Again, it might be the same plastic, so it might not matter, and that's might be one of the reasons they use that plastic. But let's get him compared to some figures. I grabbed a couple randos, Headmaster by Fans toys. And is that First Aid from? Who is that from? That's from MMC, I believe. Masterpiece Shockwave. I'm just grabbing figures that I have at the ready. So yeah, he's about neck and neck with Shockwave, I believe. And since you saw comparisons, let's do articulation now. Head, I didn't do his face. I didn't show up close. So let's show that. Face and head sculpt is money to me. It's great. I really like it. But the head goes up all the way. That's really for transformation, but you can get it down a little. It's more front like this. Spin that thing around. No side to side. This spins around, of course, and it goes higher if that's a look that you would want. Really for the alt mode. You have shoulder that goes up about that much. Not too bad, especially for all this. And you heard it's ratcheted. Arm spins all the way around and it gets a butterfly. So all the articulation that was in the Legends, it benefits from that. Elbow is more than 90, but because of the tread, it doesn't get up that much more. And you have bicep swivel here. Hand goes out. No real end, but you have a thumb on a kind of a ball. Yeah, it is a ball joint. It's a ball joint, but it also has a knuckle. I think no, it's just a ball joint, and then the knuckles right here, just the second knuckle. So there you go with that. And his hands are on, fingers are all on ball joints, and they have two knuckles. They have the ball joint knuckle and the second knuckle, and that's it. Waist, a good ab crunch. It's got that joint in there, helps with transformation, but then you can get it like all sorts of, I like that because then you can kind of manipulate it in weird poses if you want, and it doesn't look as bad depending on the angle. So I do like that. Speaking of getting it fully around, you can get it fully around. I'll show it like this so you can see it is clearing the body as long as the skirts aren't up. This comes out sometimes. It does tab in or stays frictioned in pretty well, I'm thinking. No side to side though. These things don't move. Speaking of skirts, open up the skirts on the side. This has a drop down, so you can get that, and the front skirt is connected, so you can get way out. And you also, let me see if I can get, if you can get back, you can drop that down all the way and get it doing extreme hurdles. So that's nice articulation. I do like that. I like how they did the waist, I mean the thighs, the leg. joint, I guess, thigh joint. You can get that side to side. Again, it's soft ratcheted this way, really soft. I don't even know if they needed them, but this is hard ratcheted and it's hard to get out. It feels, I don't know, it feels a little weird. But with that said, he gets the full splits. Knee, he gets the full everything. It does hit this, so that's the only reason you can't get it fully, but it goes fully. It's a double joint here for transformation, and I think it's good for aesthetics because again, you can kind of manipulate it if you're trying to get like a certain pose or something, just so it's just right. Thigh, got thigh swivel built in. Get this skirt correct. And foot, you got a full rocker here like that. Toe, I thought the toe did something. No, the toe just moves like this for transformation, but yeah, no toe or heel spur or anything, but there's a heel spur. It helps. And that's it pretty much for articulation. So next, let's get into transformation. Transformation has some nice differences from the Legends, but they do have some of the same things from the Legends. That's why I was able to figure out. But there's some pieces that were super tight. They may still be tight because I only did this once. So let's pop this up. It's on two like butterfly hinges. Push his head all the way back like that because eventually that's what you're going to need to do. You can pull this out too, like that. Then you can move this up if you want to give some clearance. You pull this out, pull this out. These two sides are just pegged in right here. And you can kind of move this forward and move this up. It's on a double hinge in here. You can't see it, but I kind of hinge it up to pull that out and then flip that out like that. Now with this, you can pull this all the way back and then get the clearance again. You can move these up and then down a little to get more clearance if you need it. And then you push this up, push this in. It's on a slider down here. And then you move these together, up and together like this, like that, and it's together. It doesn't have any pegs or anything, but with everything else, it'll solidify in a minute. So now with this, move this around, can bend this to get this panel up. Like that, and move the fist in the most normal fashion. Push that arm up again right here, same thing, move it like that. Get this, you can do it with your hand. I just did this to make it faster. Move this in there, had to get the fingers together. Now with this, you can pull these out because they're gonna go back. They already went, I mean, they're gonna go forward. They're back in robot mode, but you pull them out and then push them forward. There's two pegs right here and pegs right here and here that peg into the side of the arm. And that keeps it on very tight. So you don't have to worry about this. I don't like that. There we go. Same over here. Make sure that's right. Like I said, it's tight. So, and this, you can do this while you have all this open, but it's okay to do now. So you can just move this out and it's on a slider. You can see it right there, and then you slide it back up. Now this, when you slide it up, it's a butterfly right here and right here. So you gotta kind of put it not on top like that. I'm putting it like this so you can see, or try to see. I don't know. You gotta like kind of lift it up and push it. But that's the front. So now with this, you spin this around. Spin this around. There we go. Spin that around. Now you want to fool with these legs. These legs are kind of a beast because of how tight they were. So I'll move it like this so you can see. First you want to move this panel out. This panel has a, I think it's a over under or butterfly. Yeah, right there. It has like a butterfly. Two of them on both sides. So you move that out. And this is just mirrored on both legs. So move that out all the way. I think it's all the way. There you go. That's all the way. So then it moves kind of like this. This goes, you move the legs back. I mean, it'll move out the way, but when you solidify it, the legs have to be like this. Back like that. And you see that L? That's the joint, the knee joint. It's back instead of forward in robot mode. So now move this out. You can move this in here like this. Move this. It's tabbed in right there. So then you can just move this up here and just leave it like that. Then move that over. You don't really have to worry about that. But now all of this, you move out like this. It's right here. Pull this out. It's on a slider. You see that slider? Then you can move it like this. When you get it like this, you'll be able to, well, technically, you can wait. I moved it then, but you can wait. Then you get enough clearance to move this stuff out in the middle. And you can just move this out. Move this right here out and move this around, and it pegs right there, kind of soft pegs. So then you leave it like that. I was having problems. You know what? While we're here, move this down. Not that. There's two pieces. This one will move down later too when you move it, but this one moves down now because you have all this clearance right here to move that down. So you move that down, and then it's going to eventually fold in, but not yet because I was stuck right here. This will move down, slide out, and turn around, but it's so tight I was questioning the actual movements. So I would stick something right here. There's like a little space because it's this is a tab and this is a tab right here. You can see that. So there's a tab right here. I put this in that little space. Let me do this. Try to anyway. There you go. See how long that tab is? This one isn't as long, but this one is long. Like that whole tab is stuck in there, so it is hard. Or maybe it's this tab that's keeping it on. These two tabs. Yeah, maybe. It does look like it's these two tabs. They're big too, so now you can move this around like that and move it up. And you have the clearance to move this thing and just fold it. And then you move this up and push it in like that. And that's how this is going to stay. Now what you do is you can start to see, move this, make sure this is all the way up or all the way cleared so you can spin it around. And you're going to move that together and you're going to move this up here. Now this right here folds in, and then you want to fold this in and down. Actually, you want to fold that down before you close this. And in order, like I said, in order for this to fit, this is another place I had problems. This right here has to fit right here. And in order for it to fit, you got to have the knees like this. How I showed you, how it's back, and I'll show it over there too. So then you move that, and once you have all that stuff done, then you can just get it together, move this forward, move this back here like that. This can peg on up here. Tight peg. Then this moves like this, and it's pretty intuitive. So let me get the other leg, because then we're gonna have to put them together. For time. Like I said, it's a tab here and tab here, and that's why it's so hard. It tells you to pull it out here, but it's hard. And they have a little, it seems like they have places for it. There we go. Move this back like that. Move that out. And move this out here. Flip that. I know the book's like, just mirror it. and it works. I mean, it works once you know what's going on. Move that out like that. Now you gotta get this out again. Like I said, I think it's easier if you can put something in there and push it out. Where we at? Right here. That one was not hard at all. Maybe from doing it. Move this. Don't forget this piece. Out like that. Move this around and get it to where you can clear it. Then move this up like that and shut it down. Now move this. Now while you got the clearance, and fold this up. I know I was about to say, I know the thing is crooked, but fold that up and then fold this in. Fold that down like that so this can go on top. Move this out too. This came undone. And make sure the knees are where we needed to be. They won't stay. And if they're not where they need to be, it won't. Oh, you know what? I forgot about this too. This thing right here. I forgot about it over here. So just move this up. Sorry about that. And that covers that. I know it looked unfinished. I'm like, what is going on? And the biggest issue is just all this stuff. Like once you get it all like this, then you're just trying to get it all together. Move this down here, spin it around. You might as well put this back together. This came out again. This side is really loose. I don't know why. The other side never came out like that as it comes out. So I like to do that because then I like to get this situated, and then you know where you get the legs, and you can squeeze this together only after you close all of this. So you close this, close this. Peg that in like that. Let me peg this in because it's flopping all over the place. Trying to get these legs together. Here we go. There we go. Then once you get the legs together, you can kind of like figure it out. So this here has an over under butterfly right there. You can move that there. Do the same thing here. Peg there, peg there, peg there. Like I said, same thing here. Move that under in there. Then peg the back. Make sure this is down the turret, because the pegs are also on there. So there's like a series. Peg, 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 peg. Make sure I got everything right. Yeah, I got everything right. Besides this, but this doesn't matter when you're in the scheme of things. So yeah, it's a little difficult getting those pegs in right. But just make sure you have that down. You can even move this out and just get these pegs together first, because it seems to not line up exactly. And it's probably my fault. It's probably because I don't have something right. This side was fine. Or not fine, but it seemed to be there better. Like right here. And I can't get this. There we go. Now you should be able to line this up. Just like that. Pull this up here. And we're almost just about done. Then you can bring in the guns, fold that up, put that back here. It's tight, just like the headlights. But I do like that it's kind of to the side, but it's still in between the headlights. And then you can take this, move this like this, and peg this in back here. All the pegs are like super tight. And here you go. Tank mode. Mode is great. You can see that it's really put together well. I saw some people say it was not the proper tank from the cartoon. I have no idea. I can't remember. I'll probably put it on screen, but I think it looks good though. Not real treads. I didn't expect it, but you do have wheels, 4 wheels on the bottom. You can see the bottom. These move as far as articulation. This moves all the way until it hits the gun. It could move all the way if you had that gun off. You can move this gun. Like I said, it is tight, so it may come out. Yeah, not much more to say. You got translucent headlights right there. This has a little translucent. I wish I could get this in. I'm gonna try. Let me try right now. Let me show you how hard it is. I figured it might be easier to get it in tank mode. Yeah, my finger is still jacked. I'll try it tomorrow. Better luck tomorrow. But barely rolls. You know those little wheels. I think they're little nylon wheels or whatever. Like they. You can also push this in if you want that, and you can raise this up. I think that's for the foot mode. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna go over the foot mode in this. You know, if you want like a little short tank, it probably was like that in the cartoon at one frame or something. So, but I'd rather have it more realistic. But that's it for this review. So if you enjoyed it. Please give me a like, subscribe, and share, and I'll get up with you in another one. Thank you for joining me.
You know, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.